6.1 FM, Radio Maria Mus Otunya, a Christian voice in your home, and it is the 26th of June 2026, pretty much almost ending half of the year. You are on to Play It, and I'm your host, Tatila. Today, we are talking about, and in the studio, we have Rebecca Banda, Head of Programs, Play It Forward, Madam Florence Tembo. So, to me, I think today's topic is one of those most important topics that we need to talk about, empowering young people through peer education, life skills, and safeguarding. We will explore how peer coaches are improving adolescent knowledge in health and rights, and the importance of youth leadership and mentorship
services, and also encourage positive behavioral change.
Interesting. So, as regards the impact, what role do coaches play, especially, in providing impact in the lives of these young people?
Okay, so the impact that we have in the lives of these young people about their health, but also about their future. So the leadership and the guidance that we provide helps them build their confidence. It helps them improve their self-esteem, and also it encourages the responsible behaviors.
Interesting. Dear listener, you're tuned in to 106.1 FM, Radio Maria Mus Otunya, a Christian voice in your home, and you're listening to the Play It Forward radio program. It is a series of four radio programs, and today we are on the second radio program. And of course, the theme is empowering young people through peer education, life skills, and safeguarding. Now, as regards leadership or youth leadership, how does youth leadership contribute to empowering young people, Madam Rebecca?
Thank you so much, and good morning, listeners. So, I think today's topic is quite interesting, following up from what we had last week, and maybe just to echo what Anthony has mentioned. Peer mentors are star supporters to the young people in the community. Star supporter in the sense that they have a common language that builds. Of course, maybe somebody would be wondering to say what common language they have. And also, just a space that the peer mentors or peer coaches create is a space where it's enabling for young people to be very open to talk about matters that affect them. Remember, last week we were talking about barriers to communication between a child and a parent, and what brings up that is the issues of age as well, and also just creating that enabling environment where a young person would feel comfortable to air out what they feel, what hits them so hard in life. So peer mentors really play an important role, and they're very critical in making sure that these young ones that are in the community are well informed, and also make decisions that are healthy. When it comes to leadership, when you are mentored well, it's very easy for you to become a responsible person in life, because one, you understand the challenges and how you have to bounce back, or how you have to be resilient in life, for example. And even when you are faced with difficulties, you know how to navigate through those difficulties as a young person. Why? Because you look up to somebody who really cheers for you every time, even in your lowest moment. I think, like Anton mentioned, even in the lowest moments, I would want to have somebody to talk to and not somebody to judge them. So young people are very delicate, because they need more attention. Although I used to love attention a lot. I won't lie. I would give myself as a practical example. You understand? I don't want to give it an example from afar. But even me, when I was growing up, I used to love to, that attention where I need somebody to listen to me, somebody who would tell me, oh, you're doing okay. you'll be okay, things get better, and all that kind of a thing. So that is a critical role that peer mentors play, and also making sure that they create a platform where young people are also mentored to be responsible leaders. Thank you.
Interesting. So, as regards, the mentorship programs that you have as Play It Forward Zambia, would you be able to tell us that, the mentorship programs that are going on currently have been able to shape the young people that are currently under your care in a certain manner?
Yeah, a practical example is Anton.
Interesting.
He is a practical example, and just other young people that we are mentoring on board. We are not going to give examples outside, like I mentioned earlier. The peer coaches themselves are great examples to what the organization has done in terms of mentorship, because they are able to take up leadership roles in ensuring that when they go to different spaces, like Anthony can be sent to go and conduct a community meeting where there are elderly people, different people with different roles in communities. So he is a practical example, and many other young people that have been trained and are played forward that are managing different projects. Those are key, and those they also cascade the mentorship to the young people that are enrolled in our program. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting and encouraging, success story. So, how many would you say, have you have modeled as, Play It Forward to be able to help other young people? Because I know that stories are better told by themselves. How many so far would you be able to tell us that within Play It Forward, you have groomed them for the last maybe 5-10 years, and today they are playing roles like Anthony himself?
Oh, wow. I think in Livingstone, I have even lost the count now because they're quite many. I think we go beyond a 5,000, because what we normally do is that these young people that we mentor, we don't just leave them to ourselves, we also link them to other organizations, just like the way we've invited Mr. Sialondo here, One Stop Center. We do an integration in terms of the approach that we use as an organization. So in terms of the count, I would count a 5,000 today. I might undercount, but truth be told, there are quite a good number of young people that have been mentored and also linked to other organizations that have continued to support these young people to become responsible leaders in our nation. Thank you.
Interesting. Dear listener, you're tuned in to 106.1 FM, Radio Maria Mus Otunya, a Christian voice in your home. And today we are talking about empowering young people through peer education, life skills, and safeguarding. Now, in case you want to contribute or have any questions, feel free to reach us on 0975 466 435 or 975 466 435. Now, coming back to the issue of safeguarding and safe spaces. So, what does safeguarding mean in adolescents and young people in our communities, Florence?
Yeah. So, in this context, when we talk about safeguarding, it's simply ensuring that these young people are safe. They are safe to live a life free of harm, abuse, or any form of abuse. You understand? And what they've just what Anthony and Rebecca has highlighted is one of the many steps, or one of the many things that we can do to make sure that young people are safe. It starts with creating a safe space for young people to live. Not only live, if they need to learn, they need to have a safe space where they can learn. And I must make mention to say, this safeguarding that we're talking about, it has to start from home. Because young people and adolescents, they spend most of the time at home, like we highlighted earlier in our first episode. These young people, they spend most of their time at home. So they're at home, they need to feel safe, they need to be protected. Parents and the community where they are found, they need to create a safe space where these young people just feel safe to live, feel safe to learn. They feel safe to, if they want to access maybe a service, they want to, anything they want to benefit from, they are able to without fear of being abused, without fear of being exploited, or any harm that can come their way. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, coming back to Mr. Sialondwe, you're running One Stop Center under the Livingstone Teaching Hospital. How has the collaboration been with Play It Forward, and how would you be able to tell us that you've been able to handle a number of cases? Because outrightly, the One Stop Center is where people should be able to come and access services without any discrimination and without any fear. how have you been able to manage this? And people come with different issues. Be able to tell us even one of those success stories that you've handled. I know there are so many of them.
Thank you very much, moderator, and thank you very much, listeners out there. So from inception, when Pray It Forward actually was established or launched here in Livingstone, I think we have been working closely with them. So in some of the areas where we are collaborating with Pray It Forward is on the sensitization of these children actually, or school-going children in schools, as well as those who are out of school. So whenever a case actually has been identified through the coaches and other mentors in the communities there to do with child sexual abuse, gender-based violence, talking about substance abuse, as we heard from Florence here. These children actually, they are referred to the one-stop center, where we offer services such as medical services in case of children who have been sexually abused, or children who have been physically abused by the parents or any other adult out there. And also for those children actually whom the coaches identify and suspect that they are abusing substances, these children actually, they're referred to our one-stop center, where we offer mental health services, where we provide psychosocial counseling and others. And apart from that, for those who are in too deep taking of these substances, where they are affected psychologically or they go into depression, we are working closely with the Department of Mental Health, which is psychiatric, which is just adjacent to our department. So all those children actually, they've been looked upon. Then when it comes to children, actually, we have done a lot of work in terms of prevention of teenager pregnancies. As you may be aware that most of these children actually below the age of 18 years are sexually abused because they are lowered into sex, because they are promised to be given certain gifts and the like. So they do not know that if they engage into sexual activities, they might end up becoming pregnant and the like, or contracting HIV and other STIs. So these children actually are brought to us, where we offer services such as prevention of unplanned pregnancies, where we offer services such as prevention of HIV and AIDS by giving them post-exposure prophylaxis, which is common given in all the health facilities. Then apart from that, we also collaborate with them whenever they have these games. We go to the grounds where they are performing these sports activities, and we also sensitize these children. Like last Saturday, actually, we met at Barat, where we had close to more than 350 learners actually, whom we sensitized on sexual reproductive health, HIV, and also on mental health.
Interesting. Now, before we leave you, sir, how have you strengthened, linkages with the community, especially that, certain times, I know for a fact that, as an institution or as a center, you have an open door policy and making sure that young people are able to access the services that you offer for free. But of course, there are those that need to be dragged, especially as regards issues to do with mental health. They will never know that they have this challenge. But how have you strengthened these linkages so that these young people are able to access these valuable services from your center?
So as the center, we do not just provide tertiary services. We are also provide primary health services, such as going into the communities. So in the communities, actually, we have formed safe spaces where we have engaged community leaders actually to be our eyes, and whenever there is a case in the community, these are community leaders actually who refer these adolescents actually to the nearest health facilities or to the nearest police station if it's a case of sexual abuse or physical abuse. So apart from that, Through Pray It Forward, we are happy that they are working with the communities, they are working with the church leaders, they are working with traditional leaders, they are working with coaches like Anton, as you heard, who is one of the peer coaches for these children. So communities have been sensitized and they've been given this information, and also through the radio stations like Radio Maria here, where we do sensitize the communities. People tend to get this information at the end of the day whenever there is a case of a GBV in the community. For just an example, this particular survivor actually will be referred to the nearest health facility, or like here where we have the one-stop center, this particular survivor actually will be referred to the one-stop center, so that this survivor could get the necessary medical services at no cost. Whatever we are providing at the one-stop center, we do not charge anything.
Interesting. Dear listener, you're tuned in to 106.1 FM, Radio Maria Mus Otunya, a Christian voice in your home. And today we are talking to Play It Forward in a second series of 4 series of empowering young people radio program. Now, today we are talking about empowering young people through peer education and life skills and safeguarding. In case you want to communicate or have questions, feel free to reach us on 0975 466 435. Remember, the focus mostly is young people and how best they can be empowered. Now, how can communities support safeguarding of young people and all these efforts that Play It Forward is putting? Mr. Anthony.
Okay, thank you very much. Communities can support the safeguarding efforts, one by promoting the child protection policy, which is a list of rules and procedures that an organization uses to ensure a safer environment for all. And another thing is they can support the efforts by reporting any safeguarding incidents that happen or that occur in their communities. Last but not the least, they can also support the efforts by working hand in hand with these young people to ensure a safer environment for all, because every person has a role to play in the protection of these young people.
Interesting. Now, coming to Rebecca, when we talk about issues to do with safeguarding, it always sounds as if it's an institutionalized kind of arrangement. All the time when we talk about safeguarding, it's about workplaces, sexual violence and all that. But how can communities make sure that they embed this in their own homes? Because some of these violations of rights of young people, they are not from institutions, but of course they are coming from the homes, the communities that people belong to. So how can it come back to the communities themselves? Because at the end of the day, one day, Play It Forward may not have this,
mentioned. It's more related to all nivakunchito chabe, but it's not about that. Safeguarding begins from home. And by this we mean a space from home has to be created ourselves as community. We need to be at a space where we understand kunkala pamalo emenisi yayo ofya wondering to say safeguarding makamba pali chani tikamba pali kushita create ma programs yatu tima making sure we don't just talk about it, but we create more awareness in the communities that we serve. We go, we talk about it in meetings, we make sure that community members also understand, so that when they go back home, they start talking about it as ambassadors of change in their various communities.
Interesting. Dear listener, to Play It Forward, education, life skills, and safeguarding. Now, what strategies are you putting in place to make sure that these interventions, the match?
Like Mweta Kambira, like Rebecca's really lowest level, ifunika cheni panyumba mwana ambela safe, you understand? And counselors, ward leaders, even the parents, we've we've brought them to closer, and they are integrated in our programs. Last time we mentioned that we are doing parents forum, and in those parents forum we are discussing these issues because we understand how important they are, and if we are to achieve these results, if we are to achieve a community, and when we are with these teachers, I remember, I think maybe just 3 weeks ago, we held a parents forum. We're talking about safeguarding and other issues at found with teachers. They should understand to say these young people should feel safe even in a classroom. The young person should feel safe. So it's really yes, we can institutionalize it, but really safeguarding is everywhere, and even at school. It's a concerted effort. The teacher playing their role, making sure young people are safe, you know, to open up to learn. Because if a young person is not safe in a classroom, they will not even learn what you are presenting to them. As you are teaching, maybe they are thinking, what will this teacher say next? What will this teacher do next? You understand? And so we do work with these stakeholders. We've brought stakeholders together so that whatever environment a young person is found in, it is
away from the issue of tradition. How are you making sure that in the implementation of safeguarding policies, as you respond to these young people?
To start with, on community sensitizations with these traditional leaders, such as the headmen, the chiefs, especially in Kazungula. I'm aware that here in Livingstone we do not have a chief, but we have gone into Kazungula where we had meetings with Chief Mukuni. He had given us good guidance on how to go about it. We have engaged with his senior headmen and other headmen in the villages, just to make sure that the two here leaders, as well as marketeers or the chairpersons for these markets, we had meetings with them. Then apart from that, in the well-organized institutions such as the churches, actually we have helped into coming to formulate these child policies. New Apostolic Church as well, they came to that, we worked with them, finalization and other things. Then apart from that, we are talking to parents as well through schools, PTA meetings. Whenever some schools, they're having these PTA meetings, PTC now, as they are calling them, we are called just to talk about safeguarding issues to them. So we want a child to feel safe from home, as Florence said. We don't want any child actually to feel unsafe in these homes. We are aware that most of these abuses actually happen in our homes. Like when you look at the statistics, actually we have 60% of the abusers are coming from our own homes. Yes. So as a result, so when we are called upon by these schools just to talk to the parents, we sensitize them on the dangers of child sexual abuse, so that these parents actually do not perpetuate abusing these children. In most cases, children are beaten of no reason, of which these children need just to be talked to. In most cases, these children, they're being sexually abused by the people supposed to protect them, which is not supposed to be the case. Here in Livingstone, I think we are aware on a weekly basis, we see not less than 3 children actually being sexually abused by somebody who's supposed to protect them. Apart from that, we talk to these parents not to neglect these children, because we have seen that a number of children have been neglected, and we thank the government that this time around we have what we are calling the free education and the like. So when it comes to neglecting children in terms of not providing school fees, not providing them with food, the government actually has come on board to provide free education, as well as providing some feeding programs. In more said, these children, they need to have a health environment, a health life, so that at the end of the day, these children actually become the responsible citizen. 10 years from now, would want my child to sit where I'm sitting here, just to talk about these safeguarding issues to the fellow peers, and also just to talk about HIV and AIDS, sexual and reproductive health, and rights, as well as to talk about gender-based violence. So as a result, whenever one has been found in any of those three things I've talked about, they know where to report to.
Interest people get the right messages as regards, aligning with tradition. Because sometimes some of these violations to do with young people, it's because of young people becoming a little too modern. If they try to talk to their parents, or parents try to talk to them, it is an issue of no abantu bakudala, so there's an issue of no abantu bakudala, so those are issues where you find even violations come in. How do you make sure that young people also understand that sometimes they have to also follow tradition, but of course not their rights being violated?
Arabi had highlighted, we make sure the tradition and the safeguarding issues do not collide. So we make sure that these young people understand. That what